Employee turnover is referred to the change in employees, whether it's the departure of old employees or the arrival of new employees within a retail environment. Many areas are affected when retail stores change employment. There is a cost associated with changes in employment. A great deal of time is required when changes in employment are made. The dynamic of the team also take a hit when employment changes. When there are departures and arrivals of employees within a retail store, the productivity and the continuity of a store takes a hit as well. Cost is a factor that comes into play when retail employees leave the store and new employees are hired. When an employee leaves the store, all the money invested in the employee walks right out the door. All the cost associated with training that employee and teaching him the ways and abouts of a company and a store walks right out the door. There are also costs associated with replacing that employee now. You have to advertise for a new employee. You have to use store hours in scanning resumes and interviewing new employees. There is a cost associated with training these employees and teaching them the ways of the company and the ways of the store. The company has to use up more hours on coverage while the new associate comes to par and learns the ways of the company. There is a great deal of time that employee turnover takes up. The human resource department of a store has to run interviews, train employees, recruit new employees, scan resumes, which all take up a great deal of time. A new employee won't know how the store works right away, so there's a time and a process that comes with replacing an older employee, which also takes up a great deal of time as well. Team dynamics of a retail store also takes a shift when old employees leave and a new employee is hired. Employees in retail stores tend to get comfortable with one another. So when a new associate is hired, it takes a while for them to fit in and for the older associates to learn about them. When older associates leave and a new associate is hired, it really brings out the nature of some of the old associates. Some become less helpful because they don't like the new associate, and some become more helpful because they want to help the company and teach the new associate. The arrival of new associates can either create a good environment for older associates or a poor environment for older associates. Some old associates get threatened by the arrival of new associates, while other associates take the opportunity to teach and nurture the newer associates. It's natural when you replace someone that knows their job, productivity within a retail store will take a hit. New associates take a while to learn and adjust to the store they've started working at, which slows down processes and may affect the business, therefore affecting productivity. Learning standards and training may take a while for new associates, which does affect productivity because everything is working at a slower pace now. The arrival and departure of associates within a retail store obviously affects customer relationships. Customers that shop often in the same retail store tend to get comfortable with certain associates and employees working within the store. So when new associates are in the store, those customers obviously take a notice and get a little bit uncomfortable. Brand values also take a hit when new associates come into the picture because it takes a while for them to learn about the brand. All employees come with their own strengths and weaknesses. Some new employees may help the brand even more with some of their strengths that some of the old associates did not have, which also attracts customers. We took the time to go to the employee store of Adidas located in Woodbridge, Ontario. We spoke to Diana, the assistant store manager at the store. Let's see what she had to say about employee turnover.
I think that when you bring in new people, they bring in new ideas. It's a new set of eyes into a store that you've been in for some time, and other associates have been in for some time. So it changes up the dynamics of the store. I think it's refreshing. So the cons are when you bring in new people. Sometimes I think that people can maybe even view that as threatening because is this person going to do their job better than I am? Maybe you have the same position. And also maybe, all of the people in the store have already built a rapport. So adding this new person to the mix, though it could be refreshing, could sometimes be a con. Maybe that person's going to feel left out in the beginning. It's like the new kid in class. How do you make new friends again? And getting used to the environment. So that could be a con as well.
In a retail store, employee turnover may seem like a negative thing, but as you can see, according to some retail professionals, it can be refreshing and a fresh start for new associates and a new change and a good change in the retail store itself.